Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV Profit. My name is Puneet Zaveri and welcome to Ask Profit, a show where we get all your stock related queries answered from our fundamental as well as technical guest. Joining us today here on Ask Profit is our guest Astha Jain as well as Swati Honkar, AVP Technical Research and Nirmal Bang. Before I come back to you, let me just do a very quick market check because we've seen a lot of stock movements today. While a few we're just getting done with the earnings season essentially, so just some fag and stock related movements. We've seen the Nifty 50 also down roughly about 135 points today, and we did see some slight recovery in the middle, but post that it has been a continuous red day. When you move on and also look at some of the top stocks reacting on the Nifty 50 on the gainers as well as losers side, we do see ICICI Bank as well as the banking names of HDFC as well somewhere in the green. M&M also continuing its downtrend for the second day in a row after we did see the stock react yesterday on terms of tariff news as well as its EV bookings. On the positives, not too much to speak about. Infi being one of them, Apollo Hospitals also reacting very mildly, I should say. Let's also quickly look at the sectoral heat map for the Nifty because we have seen certain sectors doing well, Nifty Media, Nifty IT, but largely we can see that a few sectors very close, so jumping between the green and red, only the Nifty IT having some meaningful gains. While on the losers side, we have seen a lot of pressure in stocks, in metals, definitely down 1.4% today. Let's also look at the mid cap and the small cap indices because in this earnings season, we have seen a lot of pressure, on stocks reacting to bad numbers. And the mid cap 150 down 1%. I'm guessing the small cap will also have a similar moves. There you go. It's actually much larger than that at 1.6% down, almost 236 points. And let's finally look at the Nifty 500 as well. That's something again, as mentioned, in this particular season, we have seen a lot of pressure. Laopala again on the downside, reacting to numbers. Campus Activewear again under pressure today. While we have seen, Godfrey Phillips being one of the lone gainers post its Q3 earnings in a very, very strong fashion. So if we can pull up, Godfrey's chart of over the last month or two, we've seen some positive moves on PV Fintech as well. But let's pull up Godfrey Phillips first because, while intraday, of course, the stock is up 5%. Let's pull up the 1 month and the 3 month chart as well. There you go. So it's almost up 70% in just the past month as well. So we did introduce Astha. Let's also getting Swati Honkar as well, AVP Technical Research from Nirmal Bang. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us today. Let's jump into straight to our first query of the day. That's coming in from Mahesh. He's asking his first query on WhatsApp. He's asking his opinion on Vishal Mega Mart. Now this is a very recent listing. Stock's done well as well from its IPO price of about 76. So he's bought the shares at 101 rupees per share and he's holding roughly 251 in terms of the quantity. Now he's asked if he should hold on or sell at the current price. Now while he's not mentioned if he got these in the IPO, let me go into Astha first. Astha, this particular IPO saw very strong reaction, strong Q3 numbers as well. Any kind of outlook that you have on Vishal Mega Mart?
Hi, good morning to both of you. Yes, talking about this counter, we have recommended it in the IPO times also, and I have strongly recommended it. In fact, I have given the price target of around 120, and the stock has touched the all-time high of around 125. So now talking about this counter, because they have a very strong presence in the North India, and what we have seen that the growth is also very high, especially if I talk about their same store sales growth, and the numbers were also on the decent side. So all in all, this counter was looking good to us. But now regarding the valuations, I think the kind of fall which we are seeing in the market right now, the valuations are tapering off, and that is why my idea here is if you have a longer term horizon of more than 6 months, then stay invested. But here horizon matters because in the shorter term, since markets are in a pain, definitely this counter will also see some sort of effect. So in the short term, we might see some sort of downside momentum in the stock prices, but in the longer term, we are positive on this counter, recommending a hold with a price target of 125 to 130 at the highest levels.
Got the view, Asa. The next query that we have is also on WhatsApp. Sunita is writing to us from Hyderabad. She's asking a view on Apollo Microsystems. Now, roughly for a 3 month view, she's holding roughly 100 shares. bought at 140 rupees per share. Now, stocks kind of corrected from those levels, but while she's mentioned she can wait for roughly 2 to 3 months. Let me go into Swati. Swati, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. Any kind of view that you have with Apollo Microsystems? The defense pack as a whole has seen a lot of correction over the last couple of months. What does the chart suggest for this particular stock?
Yes, you have rightly pointed out that this sector is not performing from the last couple of weeks or say the month as such. We have seen a very strong selling pressure from 140 towards to 108 levels. My view is little bit cautious. Why so? Because the counter is trading in a low top, slow bottom formations on the daily chart as well as on the weekly chart. And the momentum indicators such as the RSI, which is a very popular indicator, it's showing a negative crossovers from midpoint of time. I believe this kind of a selling pressure is likely to be seen and can be extended towards 200 to 195 rupees on a downside. So I will not suggest to exit the long positions. Downside will be limited from here onwards. If possible, try to average it out if the stock comes at around between the range of 95 to 100 so that your buying price will come down. Upside momentums can be seen only if the stock manages the breakout of a 120 levels on the closing basis. Any move above that level, we will see some sort of a positive momentums which might take a counter back towards to 140 to 150 levels. So at the short term period, the view is a little bit cautious. For the longer term period, definitely you can hold on for a target of 140 to 145.
Got that view, Swati. Next query actually we're getting is from a caller. Dheeraj is dialing in from Hyderabad. Dheeraj, good morning. What's your query?
Good morning, sir. This is Dheeraj Kiran from Hyderabad. I'm a regular follower of your show. Thanks for the support.
Thanks so much for joining, Dheeraj. We appreciate your support as well. Please go ahead with your query.
My query is regarding NetWeb Technologies. I'm holding 110 shares of NetWeb Technologies at 1335.
Okay. And do you have are you looking for a long-term view?
No, sir. Actually, the stock performed really well during recent times.
Yeah.
It touched the highs of rupees 3,000 and it is like near all-time lows.
Correct.
So this correction is an opportunity. Should I accumulate more?
Okay.
Or should I hold more?
Got that. So let me go across.
One more small concern.
Sure. Please go
So
ahead.
when will the market be better? Like there is a bloodbath since almost 1.5 2 months.
Correct.
Like intradays, we are facing losses, and normally also we are facing losses. So all this, when will everything will get set right? Actually, how long will it take?
Dheeraj, I'm pretty sure that is a pain point for all investors, including myself. But let me go across to Asta first on your query, and then I'll try to get a market view as well. Asta, anything on NetWeb Technologies? Do you think that this is a good chance to accumulate at the lower levels? And anything that you can suggest for a viewer in terms of market view as well?
So regarding NetWeb Technology, the IPO came few months back, I suppose. And at that time, we were quite optimistic. Now, talking about this counter, it is into the high-end computing, solution provider. And the results which they have posted were also decent because if I reduce the other income, then definitely the bottom line is on the higher side, but the top line has shown the growth of more than 30%. So in this kind of a market, when the top line growth is more than 30%, I think these numbers are really on the, decent side. Or the major problem about the counter is here that the market conditions are not in favor. And that's why we are seeing a fall in the stock prices. So I think partial profit booking can be done because markets are not in a good mood. So I don't want that one should lose entire capital. So partial profit booking is always recommended at these levels. But in the longer term, due to the good set of numbers, we are quite optimistic on this counter. And I think in the longer term, it will again go to the level of initially 1550 to 1600. So longer term is good, but in the short term, due to market mood and conditions, we are recommending to book some profit.
Swati, let me just come across to you real quickly. Do you expect any kind of positive movement on the charts if you want to move out of this counter? Anything on the charts that suggests some recovery near the 1560 levels suggested by Asta?
Yeah, as of now, though, we have already seen a very sharp correction, and the counter is just entering into the oversold zone. So the downside is limited from the current level. I believe 1300, 1280 will act as a very strong support levels on the downside. And from there onwards, we will witness some sort of a positive momentum. Upside, yes, 1550 will be the first target I'm looking forward, and beyond that level, 1650s can be tested. So if you're having long positions, since it's nearby the buying price itself, the stock is trading at, so you can hold on. My view will be to hold on the long positions as long as the particular counters hold the 1300 levels on the downside.
Got that view, and I hope Dheeraj answers your question both on the fundamental and technical side. The next caller is actually calling from Hyderabad as well. Shamok is dialing us. Shamok, good morning. What's your query?
Yeah, I want the entry point of the Zomato. So it's falling quite a bit. So when for technical issue and when we want it. Yeah.
So are you looking for a tech view or a short-term view on Zomato? Is that right?
Yeah, minimum holding for 5 years.
Okay, so 5 years. Okay. Astha, let me come across to you for this one. Zomato, has seen some correction. Any kind of outlook that you have on Zomato and anything on Swiggy as well? Because that stock is also now trading below the IPO price. Anything on these two counters?
So we all know that like there's a strong food delivery market in India, and that's why the company has been able to post improved profitability in their numbers also. But here the whole concern is regarding the valuation first of all. So I think, but now going ahead also their expansion plans are quite strong. So in the longer term, it is a good candidate to bet upon. But here the viewer want that whether he can enter right now or not. So my idea here is wait for some more fall to come and then make entry into this counter. Maybe 200 to 190 are the good levels to make entry into this counter. This counter is good for longer term. Valuations are a little bit on the higher side. In fact, the market's mood are not in a good form right now. So that is why the valuation are becoming more concerned for this counter. So idea here is to make an entry into this counter, but at the lower level of around 190 to 200. Talking about Swiggy, Swiggy is again a long-term bet, although it has fallen below its IPO price. But idea here is to keep invested in that counter if anyone has, because after IPO it has shown the jump of more than 100%. I suppose it was almost double. So I don't think whether someone has waited for such levels or not, because my idea is definitely profit booking will be was like the case for most of the IPO investors. But in the longer term, Swiggy can again go to the northward trajectory. But Zomato is looking better to us. And idea here is to make investment, but at the lower level of 190 to 200.
Got that view, Swati. So that's the levels to watch out for on Zomato. Swati, do you concur with this view of waiting for a bit in terms of charts? Because Swiggy has fallen almost from 550, 600 levels. Does that suggest that some more pressure there?
Yes, definitely. Both the counters for a longer term horizon is definitely positive, but at the current momentum is under the selling pressure, and we are not finding out the exact supports level. Swiggy is currently, even though the selling pressure is likely to be continued, which might take a counter to 302 or say the 280 levels on the downside. So that levels will be a very attractive if we compare the risk reward ratio for the longer term horizon. And talking about the Zomato currently for a short term period, we can say that the momentum indicator RSI is showing a positive divergence from the oversold zone. So sort of a pullback rally can be witnessed into this particular counter, which might take a stocks to 240 and levels. So those who don't want to miss out any kind of a bounce back rally on the higher side, they can at least buy 20 to 30% at the current market price, because we never know from what level the particular market or the stocks will be show a spectacular rally on the higher side. So whenever the sentiments gets too negative at that point of time, only we hits the exact lows. So if you don't want to miss the opportunity, at least 20-30% can be accumulated in the Zomato at the current market price.
Got that view, Swati. And the next caller is actually coming in from Bangalore. If I'm pronouncing the name correct, Gowda is dialing us. Good evening, Gowda. I hope I'm getting your name right. What's your query?
Yeah, I bought VATech Wabag.
Okay.
303 shares at the price of 1,658 rupee. So currently this stock is trailing. So can I hold it for long term? What is the view on this stock? Actually, I bought it for a 6 months period, short term.
Okay. Let me get in a view, because Astha, we have seen this counter react on order inflow basis actually. this water treatment player. Anything that you have on VA Tech Vabag and any kind of outlook on the same?
Yes, I think you're absolutely right because the order pipeline is very strong of around over 2,781 crores, I suppose. So, I mean, if I round off the figures, so more than 2,700 crore order book is there. But what we have seen in the result that they have I had expectation on the top line, that is revenue front, but on the EBITDA, operating profit as well as net profit, the results were below expectation. So it was a mixed set of bag of the results which came in, and that is why the counter is not able to hold its strength. But in the longer term, due to the strong order pipeline, I think this counter will poised to show some more upside from here. So idea here is to stay invested in the counter, although cost price is high of around 1600. It will take some time, but I'm quite optimistic that definitely this cost price will come in the time horizon of 6 months to 8 months. Remain invested in this counter.
Got a view, Asta. The next query is actually on WhatsApp. He's sending it to us from Singapore. So thanks so much for this, Kamran. He's asking a view on Deepak Nitrite. Now, again, a stock which reacted heavily on the downside in terms of Q3 earnings. And he's asking for a long-term view. So, Asta, let me come back to you. Any kind of outlook that you have on this chemical player, Deepak Nitrite? And the call is asking, the message is for a 3-year view. So, anything on the stock query?
So definitely the results were not on the higher side. In fact, we have seen the bottom line, showing the degrowth of more than 59%. And this is what I'm taking into account after other income and extraordinary items. So, I mean, pressure was there in the bottom line, and markets are not liking these kind of pressure, especially when the market sentiments are not in a positive mood. So definitely this stock was eligible to take some more beaten up from here. And that is why I think the stock prices have fallen more from here. But from the 3-year time horizon, the idea here is to stay invested because 3 years is quite a long time. So hold this counter, but keep this thing into mind that results, since are not in the positive side, definitely this counter may take more beating up.
Got the view, Asta. We are actually getting a next caller from Bengaluru. Sandeep is dialing in with a stock query. Sandeep, good morning. What's your query?
Hey, hi, good morning, NDTV team. This is Sandeep here. And I was holding Hindustan Foods from around 300 shares I have.
Okay.
At 530.
Okay.
It's almost 2 years. It hasn't done any, has done any, it's not given any good returns.
Correct.
And after the, split, it got stuck over there.
Yeah.
So, and the results were, good, but I'm not sure about the expectations. So based on that, I think it is not moving.
So Sandeep, is it okay if you can, are you okay with holding the stock in case of any future recovery, or are you looking to sell out of the counter? Is that the view that you're asking?
See, the future recovery is there. I can hold even till the,
Okay, if the stock counter recovers. Got that.
Become the Congress president, I can hold till that time.
Got that view. Asta, and I'm not sure if you track Hindustan Foods. Do you see any kind of recovery on this stock? Because our stock, Sandeep has been holding the stock for a while. Anything on this?
So I think the balance sheet is quite in a leveraged one, because the long-term and short-term borrowings, if I add both of the borrowings, then definitely the debt-to-equity ratio is almost on 1:1 basis. So I mean the debt is higher. Although here the viewer is or the holder is right that the results were on a better side. They have shown good set of numbers with a rise in the top line as well as bottom line, but I think balance sheet is not very strong at this point of the time. So that can be one of the reasons that why the stock is not showing a proper upside momentum. But again, here the investment horizon is a longer term, so idea here is to remain invested in this counter.
Got that view, Asta. We're also getting a next caller from Telangana. Arun is dialing in with a stock query. Arun, good morning. What's your query?
Good morning. This is Arun from Telangana.
Go ahead with the query.
I have bought BEL shares at the price of 120, 300 quantity.
Okay. And are
you this price I have to enter again. I have to bought again.
Okay, so are you asking if it's a good opportunity to buy again with the recent correction? Is that your query?
Yes.
Okay.
I have to buy at this price.
Okay, Asta, again, let me come across to you because this defense play has seen some, stock correct from the 300 odd levels. Would you suggest to buy again into this particular quanta or, wait for some more time?
So, I mean, the order inflow of around 110 billion with a strong profitability, which they have posted, which were ahead of most of like analyst expectation, definitely makes this counter a very strong counter to make a long-term investment on. But I think right now the industry tailwind is not there, and that is why we have seen a sharp sell-off in the all counters which are related to defense or capital capex related stocks. So this is the case. So I think he will get the chance to buy at the lower level, since right now also the stock is falling. So idea here is, yes, one can make entry into this counter, but at the lower level of around 230 to 225, rather than entering at this point of a time. Or maybe like if one want to allocate 100% of the holding, then just allocate 10% or 20% here and remaining at the lower level. So this can also be done as one of the strategies.
Got a view, Asta, and viewers, keep sending us your query on WhatsApp and dial in as well. But it's a time for a very, very short break. More stock queries on the other side.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What's the picture behind presentations and claims? Is the outlook as rosy as the company claims? Know Your Company, powered by NDTV Profit's research, shines a light on the biggest stock market movers. Know Your Company at 11:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, only on NDTV Profit.
भाषण सुना उसके बाद मेरा पहला एक्रोनिम निकाला मैंने, वो था RRR, रिस्पॉन्सिव, रिस्पॉन्सिबल, रिफॉर्मिस्ट, और मैंने कहा रिवॉल्यूशनरी। हाउ डिड यू अराइव एट दिस नंबर ऑफ 12 लाख रुपीस?
हमें लगता है टैक्स पेयर उस लेवल नंबर से टैक्स भर रहा है, क्या उनको हम कुछ कर सकते हैं?
प्राइवेट सेक्टर कैपेक्स अभी तक वो इन्वेस्ट क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं, जबकि आपका इकोनॉमिक सर्वे ही बताता है कि वो कैश पाइल पे बैठे हुए हैं।
अगर कंजम्पशन बढ़ता और उसके तहत लगता है कि ग्रेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट का पॉसिबिलिटी है, वो भी अच्छा ट्रिगर हो सकता है।
AI बहुत तेजी से आ रहा है, तो जॉब के चैलेंजेस होंगे, स्किल के चैलेंज पहले से हैं, तो जो ट्रांजिशन पीरियड का स्ट्रगल है
Good morning and welcome back to Ask Profit right here at NDTV Profit. Our next query is on WhatsApp. Gul is writing into us and, he's asking for a view on Tata Power, purchased at 405 rupees per share. He's asked for a long-term view over the next 2 years. So, Astha, any kind of view that you have on this stock?
So purchase at 405, so definitely our long-term view is positive. So in the long term, I think the company has a much room to grow, because they have commissioned 4 gigawatt of solar cell energy capacity in the Q3 of FY25, and now their solar manufacturing capacity is also reported a very, very strong set of results. So definitely these will help the company in showing good momentum in the stock prices also in the longer term. So definitely one can remain invested in this counter, although initial price target which can be set for this counter is 360 to 365. Here the cost price is more than 400, but there is no need to book the loss. Remain invested in this counter. After 365 level, we can again see some more upside from there.
Got the view, Astha. The other one that we're getting is Ganesh is writing into us with a view and a question on Karnataka Bank. Now, the stock has been, in a range-bound session. He's holding roughly 146 shares, average price of about 207 rupees per share. So definitely, trading below those levels at 171. Let me get in Swati. Swati, any kind of view that you have on Karnataka Bank as a whole? Stock seeing some correction over the past year. What's your outlook?
Overall, the banking pack itself is not working in the whole 2024. In the KTK Bank, I believe that the more downfall can be seen, which might take a counter towards to 165 to 155 level. That will be the levels where the stock may find out the support, and thereafter we can witness some sort of a reversals from the bottom line. At the current the levels, my view is little bit cautious, but definitely for longer term horizon, you should not exit the long positions at the current market price and book the losses. You can hold on for a time being. Upside, we can witness the positive momentum towards to 190, and beyond that level 200 levels can be tested. So for the shorter term and longer term horizon, definitely the view is positive. If possible, whenever you find the supports nearby the 165 to 150 levels, you can try to average it out so that your buying levels will come down and wait for a target of 200 rupees.
Got that view, Swati. The next query is actually from the IT play on Emphasis. Satya is, sending that query from Trichur on Emphasis, holding roughly 220 shares at 3,000 rupees per share, and asking for a long-term view over the next 1 to 2 years. She's also asking if it makes sense to switch to Cyient. Now, Cyient, of course, has seen a lot of correction after Q3 earnings. But Astha, any kind of outlook that you have on Emphasis as well as Cyient?
So I think rather than switching on Cyient, it's better either to stay invested or to invest in the big tech majors like Infosys or TCS, and maybe for that matter, in fact, Persistent System is also looking good to us. So first of all, this is the view if anyone want to switch off. Now regarding Emphasis, we are not very much optimistic on this counter because the performance was not up to the mark which they have shown in the Q3 of FY25. So I think that is the major reason that we have seen a strong sell-off in the stock prices as well. So now we have to really see how this company will going to perform in the Q4. So idea here is if one want to take risk, then remain invested in the counter. And if you don't want to take the risk, then switch to either Persistent System or Infosys for that sake, rather than going ahead with this space, because this counter has not shown strong financial numbers on fundamental basis.
Got the view, Astha. The next is also, of course, a WhatsApp query. Sadanand Nayak from Goa is writing into us with a query on Suzlon as well as IFCI. Now, he holds decent quantity, while he's not mentioned the stock, how much he holds currently. But Swati, these two counters, retail favorites, has seen a lot of correction over the last few months. Any kind of outlook that you have on either of these counters?
Yes, my view on both the counters are a little bit cautious because the whole year we have seen the 2024, this counter has not participated in the rally, and we're continuously hitting the selling pressures from, we have seen the Suzlon has been corrected almost from 86 to 45 levels on the downside. But now what happened, both the counters are trading near the oversold zone. So the downfall will be limited here. So if the market shows any kind of a reversals or the mid caps starts participating into the rally or the northward direction, then this particular counter will also participate in those kind of a rally. So for a longer term horizon, definitely the view is positive on the Suzlon. One can hold on. I'm looking for a bounce back rally up to towards to 60 to 65 levels. So you can hold on this particular counter. Talking about the IFCA, this particular stocks, we have seen a correction from the last few months, and it's not respecting the every support levels. More downfall can be seen into this particular counter, which might take a stocks towards to 35 and so levels. So after more correction, then we can see some time consolidation along with the price consolidation. Thereafter, some up move rally will be started. So it will take a longer time. So if you're having any long positions, you have to wait for at least 6 to 1 year.
Sorry, Swati. Sorry to interrupt, Swati, there because we were flashing downstairs the conclave. But it's get ready for something big, viewers, because the NDTV Profit conclave is here. And it's all about the blueprint for Viksit Bharat at 2047. This isn't just another business event. It's where India's top minds in politics and industry meet to sketch out our path to becoming a developed nation by 2047. We'll explore and how this vision is shaping up across key sectors, emphasizing sustainable growth, governance, and crucially, the youth empowerment. Joining us to unpack this ambitious agenda are some esteemed guests who help us understand how India plans to turn these grand visions into reality. Let's get into it with my colleagues Alex Matthew as well as Mahima Vachhrajani, who are setting up the stage.
Centenary year. This conclave will discuss the agenda for Viksit Bharat 2047. It's a national initiative that's focused on the 5 key pillars: economic growth, technological upgradation, infrastructure development, social empowerment, and sustainability.
The conference will highlight how this vision is being realized in important industries, highlighting India's commitment to long-term, meaningful growth and global leadership. The topics lined up for today range from manufacturing, disruption in technology, and of course the global buzzword, artificial intelligence, and how all of this ties in to present a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the Indian investor in the markets.
Absolutely. It's a power-packed lineup. So, let's kick things off. But first, a big thank you to our sponsors for facilitating this fantastic meeting of the minds. Presented by Pernod Ricard, co-presented by Shema General Insurance, banking partner SBI, co-powered by Share.Market by PhonePe, premium menswear partner Reed & Taylor, state partner Uttarakhand Government, summit partner Invest MP, and out-of-home advertising partner Lakshya Media Group.
And now for the first word of the day, please help me to welcome on stage Sanjay Pugalia, NDTV's editor-in-chief. Put your hands together, please.
Namaskar. Good morning and very, very warm welcome to you all for this NDTV Profit conclave, which is themed on Viksit Bharat. Alex, तुमने मेरा काम आसान कर दिया कि क्या एजेंडा है, क्या थीम है और क्या क्या बातचीत होगी ये बताने के लिए। मुझे सिर्फ इसमें 1-2 बातें जोड़नी हैं जो आप हमसे ज़्यादा जानते हैं, लेकिन उसको रीआइटरेट कर देना बहुत ज़रूरी है। एक बात तो हमारे अपने बारे में, एनडीटीवी प्रॉफिट के बारे में, कि अब हम 7 चैनल्स इंक्लूडिंग एनडीटीवी वर्ल्ड, 7 चैनल्स और 15 वेबसाइट के प्लेटफॉर्म हो गए हैं, यानी एक बहुत बड़ा नेटवर्क हो गए हैं। उसमें एनडीटीवी प्रॉफिट का रीलॉन्च हुआ है। तो उसकी खास बात क्या है? उसकी खास बात यह है कि न तो ओल्ड लिंगो है, न ओल्ड जार्गन है, और ओल्ड ऑडियंसेस के बजाय बहुत तेजी से हम मूव कर गए हैं यंग ऑडियंस की तरफ। ऑडियंसेस हमारी ऐसी हैं जो इस वक्त ज़्यादातर लोग आप कह सकते हैं कि 18 से 45 साल के एज ग्रुप के हैं, जो मेजॉरिटी हैं। आपने देखा होगा कि जितने नए इन्वेस्टर्स इस वक्त बाजार में आ रहे हैं वो भी इसी डेमोग्राफी के हैं। जो पूरा एक मार्केट हमारा वाइडन हो रहा है, कैपिटल मार्केट, उसमें इन लोगों का बड़ा रोल है। और आप ये भी देख रहे हैं कि उनकी कंजम्पशन की हैबिट्स किस तरह की हो गई हैं, और उसको देखते हुए हम लोगों ने एनडीटीवी प्रॉफिट को इस तरीके से डिज़ाइन किया है जो यंग इंडिया से ज़्यादा बात करे, डिजिटल लेड हो, और ओल्ड क्लीशेड एनालिसिस के बजाय, मैक्रो के बजाय आपको इतना माइक्रो गाइडेंस दे सके बाय वे ऑफ inviting esteemed guests, analysts, commentators and institutional investors included on the panel conversations, जो आपको बिल्कुल पैसा कमाने में सीधे सीधे मदद कर सके। तो डीजॉर्गेनाइज करना, यंग इंडिया से बात करना, और इस बात का ख्याल रखना कि दुनिया भर में डिसरप्शन कितने हैं। अब आप देखिए, जितना हम लोगों ने सोचा था, उसके बाद ग्लोबल पॉलिटिक्स जो बदली, अमेरिका में जो रिजीम चेंज हुआ, उसके बाद अनप्रेडिक्टेबिलिटी कितनी जबरदस्त है। लेकिन उस अनप्रेडिक्टेबिलिटी में नोटिस करने की क्या बात है? नोटिस करने की बात यह है कि मोदी लेड इंडिया एक न सिर्फ ब्राइट स्पॉट है, न सिर्फ सबसे तेज ग्रो करने वाली इकोनॉमी है, बल्कि पूरे ग्लोब को, पूरे डेमोक्रेटिक वर्ल्ड को एक सैनिटी और सस्टेनेबिलिटी और एक स्टेडी ग्रोथ की तरफ ले जाने का काम हमारा देश कर रहा है। आने वाले दिनों में ये बात ज़्यादा अच्छे से समझ में आएगी जब आप एक तरफ ट्रंप टेंट्रम देखेंगे उसके कारण अनप्रिडिक्टेबिलिटी होगी, टैरिफ वॉर होगा, न जाने क्या क्या होगा। लेकिन अब जो ग्रोथ के बेसिक फाउंडेशनल वर्क को कंप्लीट कर दिया गया है और ये बजट उसका इंडिकेशन आपको देता है कि हम किस तरह से एक ही डायरेक्शन में रहेंगे, स्टेडी डायरेक्शन में रहेंगे और वो अपवर्ड डायरेक्शन है। यही वजह है कि जब अब मार्केट अच्छा है, प्रॉफिट बुकिंग करके अगर एफपीआई यहां से एग्जिट कर रहा है तो इंडियंस बड़ी तादाद में आकर के मार्केट को डेप्थ दे रहे हैं, स्टेबिलिटी दे रहे हैं और अपवर्ड ट्रेजेक्ट्री दे रहे हैं। मुझे मालूम है कि पिछले दिनों मार्केट में जो डेवलपमेंट्स हुए हैं उसके कारण, ऊपर नीचे होने के कारण एक प्रकार की फिर से एंग्जाइटी है, फिर ये सोचना समझना है कि अब आगे क्या होगा वगैरह वगैरह। लेकिन हर गिरावट नए इन्वेस्टर के लिए, बनते हुए भारत के इन्वेस्टर के लिए तो अपॉर्चुनिटी है। इसलिए मुझे लगता है कि जो पहले होता था कि एफपीआई आएगा जाएगा, उस पर भारत का कैपिटल मार्केट, इन्वेस्टमेंट क्लाइमेट और ग्रोथ ट्रेजेक्ट्री तय करेगी, उस हम्प से, उस बैरियर से हम पार कर चुके हैं। ये मुझे लगता है कि सबसे ज्यादा जरूरी और बड़ी बात है। ये विषय एक्सपर्ट लोगों के हैं, हम जर्नलिस्ट लोग हैं, एडिटोरियल लोग हैं, उनकी बातों को सुन करके आपको बताते हैं, तो इस पर मुझे आपको ज्यादा कुछ बताने की जरूरत नहीं है। लेकिन ये बताने की जरूरत है कि आज का दिन भर का जो हमारा लाइनअप है, फ्रॉम मिस्टर पीयूष गोयल टू ऑल द स्पीकर्स, हमको पक्का अंदाज है कि आज हमको बहुत उनके विजन से, उनके गाइडेंस से, जो पॉलिसी मेकर्स हैं उनकी बातों से काफी कुछ अंदाज मिलेगा, गाइडेंस मिलेगा, एक विजन डेवलप होगा आप लोगों के मन में, खुद के, हमारे एनडीटीवी प्रॉफिट के सारे दर्शकों के मन में, कि आने वाले दिनों में किन बातों का ध्यान रखें ताकि अपनी जो खुद की भी प्रॉस्पेरिटी की जर्नी है उसको हम आगे बढ़ा सकें। तो मैं एक बार आप सब लोगों का फिर से स्वागत करता हूं और एलेक्स को वापस बुलाता हूं।
Thank you, Sanjay sir. Let's kick things off with the first panel of the day. If there's one thing even market veterans are asking today, it is, market kya lag raha hai? Tezi kab aayegi? Right? And that's because it's been a rocky start to 2025. But the thing is, if you focus too long on that piece of the puzzle, you're likely to miss the bigger picture.
Absolutely. And that bigger picture is what we want our guests to paint for you today. Please join us in welcoming on stage market experts that have seen the reds and the greens and all the hues in between over the past several years. Rhythm Desai, MD and Chief Equity Strategist India, Morgan Stanley. Dinesh Thakkar, Chairman and MD, Angel One Limited. Ashish Kumar Chauhan, MD and CEO, NSC. Joining them on stage, my colleague and a market veteran himself, Neeraj Shah. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together on welcoming them on stage.
I'm here. Yeah. To the live audience who've tuned in right now on television and on social media platforms, thank you for tuning in. And to the audience out here at the venue as well, a loud round of applause for yourselves for taking the time out and participating in our first ever conclave. Now, from being counted as the least intelligent investor many years ago with a lot of handicaps, to becoming the plank on which the Indian capital markets literally runs these days, the Indian retail investor has come a long way. Regulations, availability of options, awareness of the power of investing and compounding in equities have all helped. The question is, can the next 25 or 35 years be as dramatic in terms of a shift as the last 25 have been, and arguably the last 5 years have been? And what do capital markets have in store for the Indian investor in 2025?